Yes, I can. Can see your screen.
Okay, great. All right, good evening and welcome to today's class. Today we are going to be looking at the control phase in corrective maintenance. So we started this journey of corrective maintenance with notification phase. We'll move to planning phase, and now we are in the control phase. So what does control phase talk about? Control phase is the third phase of corrective maintenance cycle. So here you will select your work orders that have been created in the system, work orders that are not yet approved. You will select all of them. And this is only for management. This is only for those who have the authorization to approve work orders. So here you select orders, release them. And then once they are released, you print relevant orders. So you print the work orders and you proceed to the warehouse to withdraw your material. So in this third phase, the order passes through checks. Okay. The, part of the checks that the work order passes through is material availability check, capacity check, and other documents are printed. So the maintenance planner is responsible for ensuring that the orders are processed in time. So there's somebody in the line of the processing line called the maintenance planner. He will be the one to ensure that the release of work order is done on time. All the steps are done on time. So the planner must ensure that the materials are available, and then shop papers are printed and order is released for processing. So he is the guy that is chasing all these things. So selection of maintenance order, there's a transaction code you use to select such work orders that fall under this category that are ready to be released. So under logistics, plant maintenance, maintenance processing, work orders, list IW38 or IW39 or IW40. This one is the multi-level. It shows you the result hierarchically. You see the work order, you see the notification, you see everything inside the all the documents that are generated are displayed hierarchically. But this one gives you a flat table. The difference between these two is that one is change and one is display. So let's choose the change, IW38. This is how it looks like. This is the interface. So here, as usual, status of the work order. So obviously the work order you are looking for is not in process, because if it's in process, it means it has been released already. So the work order is outstanding. Then your work, the functional location that you want to consider, all of them begin with mark. So mark star. I don't want to restrict it to any date, so I'll remove all the dates. So if you want to use created on, like you want to limit it by the dates it's created, but in this case, I just want to display all the work orders in mark plant. So if I select outstanding and this mark, enter mark star here and I execute, I will see, I'm supposed to see all the work orders, but let's see. Does it mean we don't have any work order in mark star? Or probably they are all released already. So let's move one step and see. So it means that all the two work orders we have are already released. Okay, so that um I would create a notification briefly, convert it to a work order. Let me create my function. Okay, water maker star water star maker star, and then it gives me my water maker equipment number. Once I press enter, it's asking me to fulfill this mandatory requirement. Yeah. So my functional location and other details will follow. I will just try to provide some of this basic information. My priority. And I will save my notification. So my notification is created. I can go back into this notification using the change mode. This is my notification 2177. So if I click here, it will pick the notification automatically and I can open it. So at the moment there's no work order. So I'll hit this button to create a work order and link to it. So this is my work order. If there's anything missing, I'll update and I'll save. The system will generate the work order. Okay. So now if I run this transaction this time around, I will find one work order that is waiting to be released. So I will check in process. I will enter my functional location and then I execute. So the system will bring just that one, which is this one. So you can see this work order status is created. NMAT. NMAT means there is no material assigned to this work order. You can check the statuses here. Created, no material component, pre-costed. So I will plan this work order by providing an operation here. I will say maybe monitor vibration. Just this. And this will be done by two guys. Duration 4 hours. Calculate work done. System will calculate the work done. If I need material, I will come down to list and pick my material from the BOM. So let me go to pick this material. I'll go back here and pick my spare parts. I'll go back here and pick another one. So these are the spare parts I need to fix this, and I'll save. Yeah, so my work order is saved. Work order is still not yet released because it is still carrying the status created. Created is the initial status of the work order. Once work order is created, it has a status created. So now this work order is planned with one operation and 3 materials. Okay. We assume that these are the materials we need to fix the problem. So management will look at the cost on this work order. See, the material cost is around 9,000 already, and the overhead is 1,800. So the total cost is then 800. So if management wants to approve this work order, it means they are giving a go ahead to consume the material. So if you go to the general data view of this material, you see there's a reservation number here created. So management will hit this approval button. This is your approval button, release, green. Once you hit this green, the status of the work order will change to released. Once you see release on your status, it means that work order is approved. So with this, you can now, before you can display this work order, you need to move to in process and remove outstanding. So that's when you can, it now becomes this same face. It has the same face with the other one. So all these work orders are released. So you can open any of them and you continue. So let's look at what is the material availability. You can carry out material availability on this work order. So the materials you have ordered here, if you hit the material availability button, this one, it will check and tell you which materials are available. So this is non-availability of material. Material is not available. If material if any of these materials is available in stock, it will tell you. So when you schedule stock materials to execute work order operation, the system checks in the single step whether all the materials in the maintenance order are available in sufficient quantities. You can call material availability list with this transaction. So if you want to use a transaction, you can use it. If you want to use just to click the button, you can click the button. So let's try to use this transaction, IWBK. So if you enter your work order here, it means all the materials in this work order, you are checking the availability. So I'm going to copy all these materials. So somebody may ask, how did I do this? If you want to copy the whole of this in this table, you can't select the normal selection we do in Word and Windows. So you need to press Ctrl Y, then your pointer will turn to a cross. Then you can now drag it across before you select. So if I bring my materials to this material availability transaction, IWBK, then I can upload the list here. And I'll click this paste, upload from clipboard, then the list will be pasted here. Then I'll accept. So here, the status of your work order, whether it's outstanding in process. So our work order is in process. So if you execute this report, you see there's nothing. There's absolutely nothing that is showing. But if the materials are available, you will see them showing their quantities that are available in the warehouse accordingly. Okay. Capacity planning. Capacity planning in the SAP system lets you control and monitor the capacity load of your various workshops. It helps match capacity supply with capacity demand. So capacity is the personnel planned for the execution of the maintenance task. So the maintenance workshop, which is like your work center, is a master record that defines the capacity supply, while the planned maintenance order represents that capacity demand. So what we're talking about here is this is your capacity demand. You've gone to operation. This is your capacity demand. These two guys are coming out of this work center. So capacity supply is from the work center, while demand is from the work order. So we're demanding 2 guys. So once you add 2 guys here and you save your work order, system will check whether these 2 guys are available from this work center. If the 2 guys are engaged, system will return an error message that the 2 guys are already being utilized in another work order. But if they are not engaged, as is the case now, once you save, you will not find any error message. Or depending on how you configure your system, a system will give you an error message or just a warning that your capacity is insufficient. The capacity you are trying to utilize is insufficient because the only 2 guys, because in your work center, there's a place you define the capacity. When we're creating this work center, we defined how many guys are members of this team. So if you pick all the 2, and as long as this work order is in execution phase, any other work order trying to pick 2, system will complain that the available capacity is being utilized by certain work order. But because now there's nobody utilizing this, even if you save, you won't have that error message. So during this phase 2, system checks capacity availability. Once you release your work order and you try to save it, system will give you that warning. So if you set your system such that if that situation arises, you shouldn't be able to save it with that capacity, then system will prevent you from saving. So you cannot release that work order that is trying to utilize capacity that is not available. Okay. Work order release. When the work order is released by click on the green flag, the system checks the availability of the material and production resource tools. At the time of the release, material reservation becomes relevant for material planning. Materials can be withdrawn and purchase requisition generated for materials that are non-stock. So these are the activities that can be performed only when the work order is released. If your work order is not released, you cannot carry out any of these activities. Let one. So these are the activities. For you to be able to carry out these activities, your work order must be in release state. If your work order is not released, you can't print shop papers. We're going to explain what are shop papers shortly. And the materials in that work order cannot be withdrawn. If you try to do goods issue from the warehouse, system will tell you that work order is not released. So this prevents it prevents a situation where somebody will just create a work order, add company's material in the work order and try to withdraw it from the warehouse. So once you try to withdraw, system will say no. The work order has not been released by a management staff. So the work order must be released before you can withdraw material. You can book goods receipt, especially for non-stock items that are in the work order that needs to be bought by a vendor. When you are to receive them in the system will refuse because the work order, the corresponding work order is not released. You can also do confirmation on your work order. So confirmation is in the next phase of work order, completion. During completion, we also do confirmation. You confirm the operations that have been done already. So if your work order is not released, you can't confirm it. Then completion of task, you cannot complete the work order if it is not released. So you can't just pick a work order that is open and try to complete it. Meaning try to put it on technical completion. You cannot. So these are the things that for you to be able to do them, your work order must be released. This is the release button. So here again, impact or effect of order release. Reservation effective. You can now withdraw material. Your reservation becomes effective. Papers can be printed, that is shop papers. confirmation possible, goods movement possible. These are the things. For this to happen, same thing we explained before. Your order must be in release state. Now, short paper printing. What are short papers? Short papers are documents that are linked to the work order. Different kinds of documents that are linked to the work order. And before you can print your short papers, your work order must be released. These are the types of short papers we have: job ticket, control ticket, pick list, object list, time ticket, confirmation slip, material withdrawal slip, etc. So all this will be printed from the work order. So let's explain them one after the other. Short papers. So let me first show you where we have our short papers in the work order. So one of the short papers that is very important is the pick list. The pick list contains all your materials. So when you print a short paper, you can take it to the warehouse. So the warehouse can only honor withdrawal of material if they see you have this pick list. So, and you cannot print it if the work order is not released. So job ticket, the job ticket is a document which gives the person executing the maintenance work a complete overview of the work order. That's a job ticket. So let's go and see this in the system. So this is our work order. If you want to print any of these short papers, you go to order, print order, print order. So once you click on this, you see all the short papers here. All these are short paper numbers. This one is short paper 1999. Look at your pick list, look at your job ticket, look at your material issue slip. All these are short papers. So if you select all of them, you can print all of them together. But if you don't want to print all of them together, you can unselect all and select the very one that, okay, let's say this material issue slip. If you select it and you click on preview, you'll see that it's a document. You can see it contains all the materials that we have attached to this work order. It also contains the operation. We have only one operation, 10, monitor vibration. It's part of this document. Okay. So some SAP configuration will have a barcode at the bottom here that a barcode reader can also read the authenticity of this document, right? And the work order number we are printing from will be inside the document, the functional location and the equipment. So this particular document contains enough information that can be presented as a legal document generated from the system. So if your work order is not released, you can't print this. Operation control ticket. This is also a short paper. It shows the maintenance engineer responsible, a complete overview of the maintenance order. The material pick list shows the warehouse clerk which materials have been planned for each operation. So let's go to pick list. If you select pick list and you preview it, this is how it comes out. You see, very detailed list. This is the work order number, the functional location, the equipment number, the work center, material. So you see there we have the different, each level is showing you different information about the materials we have added. This is the first material, which is the lever. And this is the second material, the hook, from here down, and then this one. So once you print this and you take it to the warehouse, they can issue the material because the work order number is here. They will use the work order number to issue the material. They can also use a reservation number to issue the material. Object list shows an overview of the object, that is technical objects involved in the work order. So let's see, where is our object list? We don't have object lists here. So these short papers are actually configurable. They're actually configurable. It depends on the ones you enable. The ones that are relevant for your operation, you enable them here. So if you're not using things like downtime report, downtime notification overview, job cards, or if you don't need all this, you can actually hide this in the back end. And that's why we don't have that object list here, because it was not enabled. But object list will show you, this is object list, the technical objects that are involved in this maintenance. So sometimes you are carrying out a maintenance on a particular technical object that has sub technical objects. So all of them can be listed and the maintenance will be carried out on them at once. So that particular short paper object list will display all the technical objects responsible or involved in the maintenance. Time ticket contains the standard time and duration and is only printed for operations with the corresponding control key. So time ticket is also a short paper. And it shows the planned duration, you see. It shows this like the calendar, and it shows for each operation how you have planned your duration and um your activities. So here the total work done is 8 hours because we have duration 4 hours and two guys. Okay, so system is calculating, is giving you the earliest start date and latest end date. Also the time, start time and start end time. So this paper contains this kind of information. So if for any reason your company needs to document some of these things, you can actually print it out and document. Or if there's a need to give anyone such information, you can print it out. And this can only be printed if your work order is released. Completion confirmation slip is also a short paper. Let's check if it's here. I don't think it's here. So completion confirmation is also a short paper that can be printed to show what operations have been confirmed. These are your operations. So it will just list out the operations that are confirmed and the ones that are not confirmed. Because it's possible you can have like 5 operations in this work order. At the end of the day, you have confirmed that operation 1 is completed, 2 is completed, 3 is completed, 4 is completed, but the 5th operation is still pending. So that will be reflected in the short paper. Material issue slip authorize the person executing the maintenance work to take the materials required for the order from the warehouse. So it has similar information like the pick list. So let's see. Material issue slip. This is how it just give you the list of materials you want. And any department that needs this kind of document, you can print it out of your work order. So basically, this is all we do in the control phase. So the control phase basically is a phase where work order is released, short papers are printed, your reservation becomes effective, materials are withdrawn in this phase. So we have exercise here, and this exercise should not be a problem. Select all work orders either outstanding or in process for order type PM01 and PM03 up to the current date. Show the planned and actual cost in the selection results. So you use your IW38 or 39. All of them will list out work orders. So they say the work order type should be PM01 and PM03. So how do you enter two work order types here? You need to use the multiple selection here. And then you can add the two. You can even add more than that. PM01, PM03. And then you copy here. So there will be a green light here now telling you that there's multiple selection is active. Okay, so they say you should ensure that these work orders are work orders that are either outstanding or in process up to the current date. So that means you select outstanding and in process up to the current date. So I'll use created up to this date. So if I leave this side empty and I enter the current date here, it means give me everything in the past up to this date. So I'm not like putting a start point. I'm just saying give me everything to infinity up to today. That is either in process or outstanding, and it has to be PM01 or PM03. Then I will execute. So if there are such work orders in the system, I will see the list. So this is the list of such work orders, and it is always PM01 or PM03. It cannot be any other work order type. So question number 2 says sort the selection result above according to work order type and basic start date, second criteria. So how do you sort? According to work order type, you see now it's mixed up. But if I select this line and I sort, click on sort, either ascending order, let's see if it is, okay, let's sort in descending order. This is ascending order, this is descending order. So if you click on this, you'll see that all the work orders on PM03 are sorted. This until you finish PM03, then PM01 will start. All these ones downwards here are under PM01. So you have done the sorting. So criteria 2, they say you should sort by basic start date. So where is basic start date? This is your basic start date. You can also sort by basic start date again. So if you sort this in descending order, you will see that the dates will sort itself in that order. So basically this is descending and this is ascending. You need to select the column and hit on the right button. Select all the maintenance orders you have created during this course. How can you save this selection criteria for future use? Okay, this is talking about variants. So To select all the work orders we have done in this course, again, IW38. Let me remove this date. Then I know my parameters that the work orders we've created in this class, they are all on mark plant. So mark star. I will select both completed in process. So in case I have completed anything before. So if I remember when my class started, when I started creating this work order, I can also put when it started, but I'll just say up to today, meaning that whenever I started, it doesn't matter. I don't want to really limit it, but at least up to the current date. So if I execute, all work orders that have been created in this class will display here. So now that I have at least gotten the right selection parameters, I can save it as a variant so that next time I don't need to struggle again. So I'll call this test 4, all work orders, then I'll save. So because I've saved this variant, next time I will just call the variant here. This is get variant, or you can go to variant get. It's the same thing. So all variants created by Paul, if I execute, I will see them line out. Yeah. So this is the variant I'm looking for. So I'll double click on it and it will populate this. So even if if the parameters are so complex, I will still achieve it because system will call all the parameters and autofill here. Then I will just execute and I will have my result. Check the availability of all materials in the stock required for work order 1. So how do you check material availability? If I open the first work order, let's check, do we have, okay, this first work order is tech-code. So I'll go out, I'll open another one to see, is this one also tech-code? No, this is released. So I can check material availability with this button. No material components exist. This is not really availability check because this material does not have, sorry, this work order does not have components. So the system is just alerting us that this work order is not suitable for this check because it doesn't even have materials. So let's check this one. This one has materials, so I can do availability check. So let's see. So it's saying non-availability of material. You can also check using the transaction code IWBK. Okay, so this one says get an overview of overall situation of all the materials in all your work orders. That is material in stock and those not in stock. So you can actually run that report in 2 ways. Either you can do it individually for the work orders that have the material and open the material one by one, go to environment stock overview to check, is this material available? Is there quantity in unrestricted? No, no quantity in unrestricted. Is there another quantity in unrestricted? Do we have this material available? No, it's not available. Or you can do it as a batch. Get all the material numbers and run a transaction code called MB52. MB52. This is stock situation. MB52. So here you can upload your material. This is display warehouse stock of materials. So you can upload these materials here and copy. Once you copy, then you execute. So system will give you a breakdown of each of these materials And this is the unrestricted unit. You see 0 pieces, 0 pieces, 0 pieces for all of them. So you are seeing the report at once. There is a way to configure
Like
the.
if you add something together, it give you 26. Put 6 together, the last number, and carry the first number forward. You
There's
got 10
a.
now, you wrote 0. You're asking me what you should do next.
Can somebody just mute?
Continue.
There is a way to change the output of that report. Okay, very good,
Hmm?
very good. So this is
Which
it.
one did you add? 7 plus 1 is what? How did you add it?
So there's a way to change the output of that report. If you don't want it to come up that way, because it could be pretty much difficult to read if it is hierarchical. This is hierarchical representation. So if you want it to be flat, you select non-hierarchical, then you execute, and it's going to come out more um, in a more readable format. So see, unrestricted is 0 or true. So for this material, there is 0 stock. This one, there is 0 stock. This one, there is 0 stock. So you can even download this report to Excel. Um, and download this report to Excel. Okay. Release all your outstanding orders. What are the consequences of order release? Who can tell us the consequences of work order or release? If you release your work order, what and what can you do?
I can print my shop papers.
Okay. Another person. Very important. It can be asked in exam. It can be asked in interview. What are the impact or what's
Yeah,
the effect?
I know that picking list is under shop papers. So at least you have access to your picking list.
Yes. So what I was actually expecting is you can withdraw material. Because if your work order is not released, you can't withdraw the materials that are assigned in the work order. When we start doing the next phase, we are going to simulate material withdrawal, and we'll we'll attempt to withdraw a material that is not. Just 1 second, please. I will simulate the material withdrawal, but now I'm not able to do that now because all our materials are not in stock. First, I need to take you through the process of um, how do you call it? Adding stock into the into your warehouse. That will take us through the process of creating PO and then bringing in some quantities for each of these materials that we'll be using. So we'll have reasonable quantities of this material before we now withdraw. So at the moment they are 0. So I don't want to just do that process now. I will combine it with the actual phase that is done. So, but my question about the impact of work order release, this is what I'm expecting. your reservation becomes effective and you can do a withdrawal. You can print short papers. You can carry out confirmation, work order confirmation, and you can do goods movement. Goods movement is either withdrawal or receipt of material. We also saw that somewhere. Print short papers, withdraw material, book goods receipt, enter time confirmation, and complete your task. All these are only possible if the work order is released. So what again? So display the print preview for one of your work order and print it on a default printer, which short papers are printed. So we have done that several times here, just to why in the work order you navigate to order, print, and again it has to be it doesn't have to be a work order that is completed. It has to be a work order that is still open. So order, print, then order. So you see all your short papers. So whatever short paper you select, system will print for you. You can use this to navigate, to go down and up if there are other pages. So you can see, because we selected many short papers, all of them are displayed here by default, and you can see them one after the other. Call up your order again and display the print log, which entries are included. So let's see. Where is our print log? Print log. What was the error? Log print. There was a warning, no short papers have yet been created. Okay, because we have not yet printed any. So in recent, we have not printed, we just preview them, right? But the moment you send it to printer and it comes out, system will keep a log of it that you have. Or let's even try to output it, even though we don't have a printer. So this helps to confirm if someone has printed anything on the work order. So let's say, okay, this looks like there's an output. So we go to print. Perfect. So this is the work order, and this is the short paper that is printed. The time and date, who printed it. So if you're arguing, I didn't print or I didn't print, you can find the log here. If you print another short paper, the system will still record the log. Let's say this pick list, and you output it. So the way you output it, system will capture the log. So you here log print, and why is the one not showing? So basically it's just to record which other one? To record the activity, your print activity. I don't know why the other one is not printing, it's not recording. Okay, so this is where we're going to stop for today. This is the solution for everything we have done here, all the questions. If you follow this solution, you can be able to do the same thing. These are basically the answers to the questions. Okay, any question?
Um, Sorry, can you go through the slides? It looks like you skipped a few of them.
Okay.
The solution slides.
Okay. Like which one?
Start from 12. From 12 to...
Variant. We have done variant now. We created a
Yes,
variant.
I know. I just wanted you to click on them one after the other so that
Okay. Saving
if
variant.
maybe you need reference, you just pause the video and look at
Okay.
the spec.
Oh, okay. So we did this saving of variant now. We created a variant, settings, layout, save as variant.
So you can just go ahead, click on the next one, slide 14, and then in that order up to the last one.
Material availability check.
That's okay. To the next one is just to make sure all the slides are captured in the video.
Consequences of order release. They are all here. Order can be printed, reservation becomes effective. Printing short papers. That's a step to print short paper. And then the log. So you see the print log. It's okay, right?
Yeah, it's very okay. Very okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so next time we'll look at the execution phase. So in the execution phase, we'll now talk about material withdrawal, we'll go to practicalize the actual withdrawal of material. Then other things that follow. We're doing this in our next class. Or should we continue?
No one is saying anything.
Well, it's okay. Andy.
Okay. All right, next time we'll look at that. Thank you and have a good night rest.
Yeah,
I'll send
thank
you
you,
the
Mr.
video shortly.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Paul. Good night. Father.
Alpha.
Yeah, very well. Our recording has started again. Are you recording again?
No. Now
Okay,
because you never log out. Let me
okay.
pause. Let me now stop it.